Oh, I love it when the song ends at exactly the right time. Thank you guys so much for listening. You're listening to WZNC LP Bethlehem, North Country Community Radio, 99.9 FM, and streaming online at nococommunityradio.org. You're tuned in to North of Normal, and I'm your host, Amanda McKeen. My mission is to create an unfiltered, human-centered space where local leaders, business owners, and changemakers share their stories, perspectives, and passions, not to promote, but to connect. North of Normal celebrates what makes our North Country community rich, real, and worth rooting into. We're live every Tuesday from 10 to noon here at NCCR on Main Street in Littleton, and today's guest is Lieutenant Mark Ober. Mark, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
All right, so we've been kind of hanging out a little bit before and getting to know each other a bit, but I like to start out by explaining to our listeners that how I know my guests, because I don't typically invite someone that I don't know onto the show. So I know you because of Search and Rescue. I have volunteered with AVSAR. I've been on the team for I think it's 2 years or 2.5 or something. But that's when I met you on my first mission. You were at the trailhead.
Yep. That makes sense.
Yep. Makes sense. Checks out. So, the only times I've seen you and interacted with you before today was on missions.
Yeah. That's when it comes to volunteers, especially SAR volunteers, that's pretty much most of the time we see each other.
Yeah. And you've got the sign-in sheet at the truck, and you greet everybody with a smile. And
oh, really? Wow.
Yes, you do. I guess you didn't realize it, but you are the smile at the trailhead. And I sign in. And I remember that first mission, like I seriously didn't know what to expect. And I was so green, and you probably saw it all over my face. And you were like, you just need to go up the trailhead. And I was like, okay.
And someone will help you help you with what happens next.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up waiting for a couple more people to show up because
You were the first one?
I was one of the first ones, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, yeah, that's been our interaction up until today. And today, I'm so glad I get to know you a little bit better. And not only that, we get to share that with our community. Because, the community sees you as, you're in uniform, you're fish and game, you are a role, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so today is about who is the human being.
And I'll do my best to portray who I am.
Okay.
For sure.
Good. So, Mark, I wanted to make sure that listeners know where you come from and how you ended up here.
Sure.
Do you want to kind of walk us through that?
Yes, absolutely. I grew up in a small town in center New Hampshire called Ashland. In fact, most of my family still lives there. And born and raised, graduated high school from the Plymouth Regional High School. The first year they merged. Ashland used to have a small high school up until 1990.
Okay.
And then the town voted to close it it was a very small school.
Yeah.
I think in my class there was 16 people.
Oh, wow.
So we just shut down the high school and merged with Plymouth. And so my senior year was the first graduating class of that merger.
How big was the class then?
I believe it was 144.
So was that kind of a shock for you?
Initially, but
yeah.
you sort of, I got used to it.
Yeah.
Nothing detrimental happened to me. It was actually, I'm very happy it happened that way.
Why is that?
When I look back. Because, just the possibilities of different things to do. Like we had a very small school, so you had X, Y, and Z for classes, whereas in a larger school you could do multiple things.
Yeah. Probably there were more sports options,
More
too.
sports options,
yeah.
But, so like I said, first 18 years of my life was spent in that general vicinity. And then soon after graduation, I joined the Navy.
Okay.
Yeah. And just wanted to get out of New Hampshire. That's
really?
Simple. Yeah.
Okay.
I was really set on being a Marine. and I almost signed up to be in the Marine Corps, and then I can't remember details, but someone talked me out of it. Someone who said, "You don't want to do that. Join the Navy, learn a skill, become something, learn a trade."
Okay.
So in retrospect, I think I would have fit better as a Marine, but I joined the Navy. And then that's from there, real briefly, I only did a 2-year tour because back then in the early 90s, they were offering 2, 3, or 4-year enlistments.
Okay.
And so I signed up for 2 because I just wasn't sure that I wanted to stay that long. I got sent to an aircraft carrier station out of Japan. I was part of an air wing of fighter jets. And I'm sorry, it's been so long ago, I forget the aircraft. But so I spent 2 years there.
Okay.
And I left because I really wanted to go to college. At this point in time, not too many people in my family had gone to college.
Okay.
And I did fairly well in high school, but I just had an urge to go.
Was there something specific that you wanted to learn?
No, I think what I wanted to do was I wanted to become an officer in the military.
Okay.
And for the most part, to become an officer, you needed a college degree.
Yeah.
So 2 years was up. I got out, came back home. I wasn't planning on staying local because, like I said, I love New Hampshire. Don't get me wrong. But I just wanted to go somewhere else.
Okay.
And do something else. But it was a comfort zone for me.
Yeah.
So I came back home. I signed up for school at Plymouth State. Back then it was Plymouth State College.
Okay.
And I ended up staying for 4 years and graduated in 1997. Soon after graduation, I applied for officer candidate school in the Navy again.
Okay.
Again, my goal to go back in as an officer.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. So I re-enlisted and then got sent back into service. This time I had a specialty. It's called operations specialist. Basically, you work with computers and radars and stuff like that.
Okay.
Got sent to a ship, and I'll tell you the ship in a minute. And then from there, I was like, I just don't want to do this again. So I reapplied for officer candidate school and got accepted. I don't remember the exact time frame, but it was probably maybe a month or so prior to the deployment of the ship that I was on. I left to go to officer candidate school, which at that time was in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
The ship I was assigned to was the USS Cole. I don't know if you remember.
I don't.
Okay. So the Cole was the ship that got bombed off of, in the Red Sea. This is all prior to 9/11. So I think it was in October of 2000.
Yeah.
And there was a suicide bomber who came up alongside and blew up a bomb and made a huge hole in the ship and killed 17 or 18 or 19 people.
And you were supposed to be on that ship? I was
supposed to be on that ship.
Oh, my word.
But I was at officer candidate school. So from there, pretty much what I did, not to bore the listeners, was I became a surface warfare officer, so assigned to ships. I did tours in Texas and then ended it in Virginia, Norfolk. And I ended as a fire control officer of a guided missile destroyer. And at that point in time, I had done 5 years as an officer, and I just didn't want to be constrained by metal, steel, electronics. It just wasn't me. I wanted to be back outside. Okay. So I chose to leave for good, resign my commission after I did my tour. And believe it or not, about the time that my obligation was up, I started looking at jobs back in New Hampshire, of course.
Yeah.
And I noticed that Fish and Game was hiring. So I threw in an application, and 6 months later, after all the steps you have to go through, I was sworn in July of 2005. So, brief history of
Wow.
how I got to where I am.
It's a packed history. It sounds like there's a lot of stories there to uncover, but trying to pick out the most important things here. It sounds like you definitely recognized what you didn't like.
Yes.
I'm curious, what about working on those ships was so... I mean, were you outside much, or were you kind of like in the ship?
In the ship.
You were in the ship.
Depending on the ship, like an aircraft carrier is not too bad because it's big. It's large.
Yep.
There's multiple things you can do. There's weight rooms. There's things you can do to exercise-wise. The smaller ship, the less that was. So pretty much, and not to say it's all bad, but a lot of my time was spent doing, 12-hour watches, and then 12 hours you're off, but you're also sleeping and studying for promotions, exams, that sort of stuff. And so there wasn't a lot of room to do exercise, and I was really into exercise.
You were into it.
Yeah, and it just wasn't what I envisioned after a while, but I tried. I thought I wanted to be an officer. I thought, yes, once I get this role, this is going to be my career. Mm-hmm. And then I did it, and I didn't hate it. It just wasn't what I wanted to do for the next 20 years.
Yeah. So being outside was super important to you. When did that start for you?
As a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who influenced that?
Well, I grew up on a small farm, too.
Okay.
And I think that's what influenced me. I was always out helping my dad.
What kind of farm was it?
Just a small, few cows, few pigs, some chickens.
Nice.
Nothing crazy. Nothing that wasn't a money making venture. But he grew up on a farm, the same one, and he just carried it on.
Okay.
Yeah. So grew up around there, farm animals, pretty rural area. Loved to hunt and fish, which is odd because my dad was not a hunter. Not at all. No. He didn't. He liked working on the farm. That was his thing.
Yeah.
So I just sort of adopted that by reading outdoor magazines, that sort of stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you had your parents subscribed to outdoor magazines?
I think I used to get that from my grandmother's, I want to call him her husband, but they were never married, but they were together for like 30 years.
Okay.
So he was a pretty big hunter.
Okay.
So he used to give me his hand-me-down magazines.
There it is.
Yep.
There's where that influence comes from.
Sure
That's
does.
cool. Okay, so you were always into being outside, and you always enjoyed hunting and fishing. That makes total sense that you would find your way back to New Hampshire and with Fish and Game. You mentioned that you had been turned down the first time that you applied for...
Yes.
What was that position?
It was for officer candidate school. Yes.
Why did that happen?
Good question. I don't know. They don't tell you.
They don't?
No. They just, you submit your application, you do all the paperwork, you send everything in. And I want to say maybe, at that time I wasn't in the Navy. Mm-hmm. And so I never really did great on like SAT type tests. Mm-hmm. I did okay, but I wasn't outstanding. So you had to take a test very similar to an SAT. And I got a passing score, but it wasn't high passing. So maybe that was the reason. I'm not sure. But when I applied the second time, I had the same exact score. I didn't have to retake the test. And I got accepted. But I was also in at that time. So, and I think I had some recommendations from commanding officers, that sort of thing.
Makes a difference.
Yeah.
So when you got accepted into Fish and Game, what was that like for you? Were you excited?
It was above the moon.
Yeah.
I can't describe. It was, I was 32 years old at that time, which is late to get into this kind of game. But it was like, okay, it clicked. This is finally this is what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I'm here.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
All right. So you were 32 when you started. And how old are you now?
I'm 53.
53. Okay.
So add it up, and you can tell how long I've been here.
21 years.
Almost 21. It'll be 21 in July.
Okay.
Yep.
So, wow, that's a lot of time with Fish and Game.
It is, but it's everybody who wants to retire has to do at least that.
At least 20?
Back under the old system. I don't want to get complicated, but New Hampshire retirement system for law enforcement and firefighters has changed.
Okay.
So now it's 25.
Oh.
But those of us who were part of that before they made the change, the time has been graduated, so technically I have to do 22.
Okay, you're so grandfathered in.
I'm semi-grandfathered in.
Yeah. Not
under the old system of 20 years, but I still have to do less than 25. But
they're like, can we just get
it's complicated.
2 more?
It's complicated. Okay. But yes, I have at this point almost a year and a half that I have to do.
That you have to.
Yes. In order to meet the minimum requirements for retirement.
How often do you think about that?
Should I say? It depends on the day, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I do think about it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I do. I'm getting older. There's other things I wouldn't mind trying to do, like take vacations.
Yeah.
Someday. But there's definitely it was not a mistake to get this. This is what I wanted to do. But there's a certain time. Like I run into people all the time who say, you must love this. This is awesome. The best job in the world. And I agree with them, but I also say it's a job.
Yeah.
You're out here having fun. It's great, but I'm not having fun. I'm working.
You don't have fun ever?
I do have fun.
Yeah.
But at certain times after you do something multiple times, it's like, okay, it's fun, but it's also a job.
Yeah.
If there was other things to do, I probably wouldn't be doing exactly what I'm doing now for fun.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Okay. So with Fish and Game, I think maybe people don't have a full grasp of what that role looks like. Could you kind of walk me through what a typical day for you would look like when you're on duty, which, by the way, you're on duty now?
I know. This is my public outreach.
Okay.
We have different things that we're obligated to do, and this is one of them. So
you were obligated?
Well,
I didn't know
as
that.
far as if people request interviews or anything like that, yes.
Okay.
We try to accommodate.
Well, I like to think this was voluntary.
Yes, it is. It's voluntary, but I shouldn't say obligated. But it works out.
Okay.
A typical day, obviously, like I told you earlier, I hate cliches, and I know a lot of people who follow us kind of hear that it changes by season.
Yeah.
What we do, it really does.
Okay.
So let's focus on this time of year. Being a supervisor, my typical weekday, would be a lot of time in the office reviewing reports, administrative stuff, timesheets. At this time of year, snowmobile crash reports. So it's a lot of administrative stuff. Weekends is primarily all out there on the snowmobile doing enforcement.
Oh, you're on a snowmobile?
Yes.
We're just looking for people that are...
running radar for speeds.
Okay.
Checking, make sure they have their registrations that they're required to have, safety equipment, and covering crashes if they happen. Just like on the road, if a car crashes,
right,
you have to do a report, find fault if there is, and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So a lot of time this past weekend, I was up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. So
a lot of activity up there.
A lot of hours on a snowmobile in the cold.
Yeah. How do you stay warm?
Well, I dress properly.
Yeah.
With the gear we're given, we can stay pretty warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Even in the negative temperatures.
Do you use little hand warmers and foot warmers?
Occasionally.
Yeah.
I haven't yet had to this year yet, but occasionally I will.
Yeah.
So that's a typical day in the winter.
Were you, I think there was a shooting up there, wasn't there?
There was.
Were you up there?
I was up there, but they never called us because it was like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
And we were there, available, but just never got called.
Yeah. What happens, like I know that search and rescue missions are way less in the winter, thankfully. Mm-hmm. But if you're in the middle of something and there's a call out, what makes you decide what's more important in that moment?
Usually a search and rescue is more important.
Yeah.
If it's a life or death situation, or if a person has broken something where they can't make it out on their own, that takes priority over just about everything that we do. Yeah. Have
you ever been on a call and get another call and have to figure out who's going to go there?
Yes. A few times over the years, we've had a search and rescue call, and that sometime, I'm trying to think back as we talk, most of the times it was we're on a search and rescue call, and then we got called for like a ATV crash or a snowmobile crash. But everybody that I have is on this search and rescue call. So generally when it comes to crashes, the local EMS firefighters, EMS providers will respond for medical purposes. Yeah. So if I don't have anyone to send and they're going to get out via the EMS support, then I just tell them, we'll follow up later, but I can't send anyone right now. Okay. Yeah. That's probably tough to say. No, because, I mean, you think about it, if we're carrying out an injured hiker that are miles out, it's going to take a while. I just can't pull someone off the litter crew. That's right. Hike back down, drive usually an hour or so somewhere else. Yeah. By that time, the person's at the hospital, so there's no emergency. Yeah. With search and rescue, you are in a specific role on those call-outs. Like, you are not up the trail. Not as much. You used to be? Sometimes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, before I was promoted. So the supervisor kind of runs the rescue, makes the calls, requests volunteer support, and then is at the trailhead meeting the people when they come. With a smile. Yeah. But before that, I was one of the ones that would hike up. Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. I got promoted to sergeant, I think 8 years in. And so a sergeant, if the lieutenant's not around, the sergeant usually runs the rescue. Mm-hmm. So the first 8 years, I wasn't anything. So I was the grunt that would go up and help. And I still have done it a few times over the years if I can, for one. And if the need arises. Yeah. Do you miss the first 8 years? Yes. You do? Mm-hmm. What do you miss about it? It was less complicated. You know, as anything goes, as a supervisor, you're responsible for a lot more than just yourself. When you're a regular officer, you're kind of responsible for yourself and doing what you're doing. And you're called, you're given tasks, you're given assignments, and it's easier. Whereas now I have to decide, okay, who am I going to call? Do I even need to call anyone? Mm-hmm. Do we need to respond to this? So it's just more of a mental thing. Yeah. I'm curious how you make those decisions. What's the framework that you use to... So in a search and rescue perspective, I'm pretty blunt. If I can determine it's not an actual emergency and they're just calling because they want someone to hold their hand, or they need, or they're tired, or they're hungry, they're thirsty, then I just tell them we're not coming. Plain and simple. So you actually answer the call. The call from the person in trouble. A 911 call gets automatically forwarded to us if it's a hiker, or if it's anyone, not necessarily a hiker, but if it's anyone outside of a road. Yeah. It'll get forwarded to us. So when you say us... Fish and Game. Okay. And you are usually the one that's getting that call? When you're on duty? In Coos County. Okay. Only, yes. Yes. Not the whole state. Not the whole state.
So you actually are talking to the person that's in trouble.
Yes.
That's a really interesting moment.
Yes. But how many years have I been doing this now? 13. As a supervisor.
Yeah.
Answering these calls. It's not difficult for me anymore to make a decision.
Yeah.
It's pretty evident talking with them.
You probably ask the same questions
over and over.
Yep.
Over and over.
Okay.
If it's a broken bone, like a broken leg or ankle, then it's an easy decision.
Yeah.
We're coming. But if it's something as simple as I'm just exhausted, well, I give them advice what to do. But no, we're not going to send everyone on every exhaustion case. It's just, we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of those calls.
Do you?
Believe it or not, yes.
Okay, so I have a question. It might be a little bit dark and heavy, but I'm just thinking about how you've probably been the last person that somebody speaks to in some cases. Before they pass, if they can't get help in time?
I can't think of an instance where that's happened.
Oh, well, that's
because
good.
Most of the fatalities that I have dealt with, it's usually a cardiac event.
Okay.
Sudden, fast.
Yeah.
So it's someone else calling on behalf of. I've never spoken to anyone that I can recall at this time that ended up passing away.
Okay.
The closest, I would think, and it wasn't a direct call, it was the whole Kate Matrasova thing, where she sent a distress signal.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a phone call, but she sent that signal, which gets forwarded to whoever, the Air Force, whoever monitors those signals, and then goes to me from there.
Right.
But, yeah, that'd be the closest, I guess. But yeah, other than that, it's usually something that's sudden and fast, and someone else sees it or is with the person and makes the call.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe this is a silly question, but have you read the book on Kate Matrasova?
Yes.
You did read it?
Yes.
Why did you read it?
Because, well, I know the author very well.
Okay.
Ty, and he, it was an interesting read. You know, it's something I was part of. So
right.
And it was excellent. I thought
it was excellent.
It was.
It was like
all his books are.
That was the reason I joined Avstar.
No kidding.
I'm serious. I read that book and I was like, I need to do this. But yeah, I think he's done such a great job of explaining very clearly.
I couldn't do it that way.
Well, it's helpful to know, like, from a person who was part of that moment, that you read the book.
Yes.
You know? That's cool.
Yeah.
So, what's it like working with search and rescue volunteers?
Oh, it's awesome. So when you mentioned earlier that I was there with a smile on my face, it's probably because I know I have enough people to help. Oh, yeah. You know, that's the only thing I can think of, because it's not something I love to do, but knowing it's, as you know, it's a grueling task.
Yeah.
So knowing that there's enough to make it out safely, that takes a huge weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
So henceforth, probably the smile that I don't know I'm doing.
Yeah.
But volunteers are a different breed. Thank God for them. That's all I can say for people who are stranded out there or hurt, who can't move. Because without them, I mean, we couldn't do it. I've got 6 people in District 1, 6 officers.
Okay.
And like every district's about that, 6 or 7 at the most. And not all of us are on at the same time, duty. but we're all subject to call out. But you can't carry someone out with 6 people.
That's right.
Unless it's half a mile from the road, maybe, which are very rare.
Yeah.
So volunteers are essential. Absolutely essential.
Yeah. I'm just like trying to imagine, you know, volunteer teams started back in the 80s, right?
Yes.
So to read about how these rescues happened before then was quite amazing.
Yes. I've done a little bit of reading and stuff, old stuff, and I want to say for the most part in the presidential range, at least, prior to volunteers being established, and if they were a hiker thing, I think AMC did a lot of those.
They did, yeah.
And it was something, from what I gather, it's like they just took responsibility. They took ownership of hiking and hikers, and really were the spearhead in that. And then of course legislation gets proposed, and they lose being on the forefront, and it gets reverted to us, a state agency, which happened to be us.
Yeah.
And so now it's sort of flip-flopped.
Flipped, yeah. You're from you live in Franconia.
I live in Franconia.
So we didn't really talk about, like, how did you end up there?
Sure. So I was hired in 2005. The first year as a conservation officer is called your trainee year. And what happens is you get sent to all the 6 districts in the state. Usually every month you stay at a one district and you go to another.
Okay.
And they set you up with housing, or the state, our department sets us up with places to stay during that month.
Okay.
Also during that month you go to the police academy to get your certification. And so at the end of that year, depending on where the vacancies are in the state, you get assigned to a patrol. When my year was up, there was, I think, 3 open patrols in District 1. And I knew I wanted to go there regardless. Even if there wasn't, I was probably going to transfer there someday. But luckily there was openings there, so I got to be assigned up here.
Okay.
From there, I rented a place in Randolph for a couple years, which was awesome. Loved it. And then started looking around for a house to buy. And me and my wife just had a little baby. So we were renting. It was like, we really want to buy a house. I just couldn't really find anything either in our price range or in the area we wanted. And so we just started looking outside of District 1 and found a nice little place in Franconia. So I had to actually transfer from District 1 to District 3 to make that move.
What year was that?
That was in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I was down this area. I had this patrol, Littleton, Lisbon, Franconia, Bethlehem, and worked here for almost 2 years. And just me being stubborn, I really missed Coos County.
Huh.
It's very similar, but it was also, there's nothing I can say to explain why, but I transferred back to District 1.
You can't explain why?
I just missed, that's where I started. So I left begrudgingly, and I left because of a house. Yeah. Not because I hated the job. So I realized that too late, and luckily the patrol that I left never got filled.
Okay,
so
for 2 years?
I was able to go back to that same patrol and just basically take over from where I left off.
Yeah.
And but back then you were pretty strict where you had to live in your area. So I just bought a house in Franconia. So technically I had to move back to the Randolph, Burlingame area where my patrol was. But do you remember the housing crisis of the 2010-ish or time frame, 8, 9, 10? So I just couldn't do it. So I got permission from the colonel at the time to still live there, but my travel time up to my patrol didn't count towards my day, which is fine. So, but it's about a 40-minute drive
Yeah.
anyway for me. It's not terrible. And in the meantime, we put the house on the market, tried to look to sell it. It just never happened. And finally, a few years later, the whole living in your patrol it was sort of, you're allowed to vary from that. So because I wasn't too far from District 1 anyway,
Yeah.
they allowed me to still stay in Franconia and just commute.
That was very smart of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like where I live. I like the town.
Yeah. So how many kids do you have?
I have two boys.
Okay.
One is 17 and one is 14.
Oh man, that must be fun.
Sure. Lots of fun.
And at what point did you meet your wife?
Interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay. So we first met when we were in high school.
At Plymouth.
At Plymouth.
Okay.
Yep. And then I left to go in the military twice. And we met up again in 2005 when I came back. So I graduated high school in 91. And so from 91 to 2005, we just parted ways. I left and she was still 2 years younger than me, so she was still in school. And I just, we went our separate ways and found each other.
How did you find each other in 2005? What happened? Did you run into her at some local place?
She's going to hate me for saying this, but she saw me in a coffee shop.
Oh, nice.
But didn't approach me.
Okay.
And I didn't see her. She thinks that I saw her and avoided her, but honestly, I didn't. And so she was good friends with one of my best friends who was a state trooper at the time.
Yeah.
And he might have actually mentioned to her that I was back. But anyway, she got my address from him and sent me a note saying, "Hey, I heard you're back. Would you like to meet up sometime?"
She sent you a note? She mailed you something?
Yeah. Back then, it was
so
all
old school.
It was before text. Yeah, I didn't have a cell phone, so it wouldn't have helped.
In 2005?
2005.
That's so cool.
Yep.
And so you got this letter from her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how you felt when you opened the letter?
Not really. Just.
Did you remember who it was?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I called her, and it's like, well, sure. I haven't seen someone in that amount of time. It's nice to catch up. And so it was around Christmas time, and we met at a restaurant, had dinner, and it goes from there.
Rest is history.
Rest is history.
That's a good story.
Yeah, we've been married 18 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you have two boys, and one of them is almost done high school.
He's graduating this spring.
Wow. Does he know what he wants to do? Oh, you're laughing. No?
He doesn't. And he's tired of me asking him.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
But he's very smart, and he's been accepted to multiple colleges, just hasn't committed to one yet. So.
All right. Well,
to be determined.
If he's anything like his dad, he'll make his way and figure it out.
Yes.
Might take a few years.
It will.
Yeah. I think that's the case for all of us.
Yes.
So what does your wife do?
She works at the local elementary school in Franconia.
She does?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. She's the secretary at right there as you walk in. Can't
Very
miss her.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to go say hi to her sometime. Find out the real story.
Oh, my goodness. She can tell you some stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
I know people probably... You don't talk about your personal life very often in your day-to-day.
No.
Probably.
And not because it's a secret, it's just something that doesn't come up.
It doesn't come up.
No.
Yeah. So let's kind of go back to this rescue situation, because I think it's just so fascinating. And, the fact that you've been doing this for almost 21 years, you were telling me before we went on air that it feels like the same thing over and over again at this point. There's not too much outside of what's expected that happens.
Yes. So after, I think in any profession, after you've been doing something for that amount of time, it's really hard to find something new and different you haven't done or experienced.
Yeah.
And the same with search and rescue. It's every call is different. It's not the same person, not the same scenario, but it's the same sort of situation that they're in. So it's not new. And of course, I'm cognizant of the fact that if someone calls 911, they think it's an emergency.
Yeah.
And so every call that comes in, it's a potential, there is, but the vast majority of them are not.
Yeah.
And then it's my job to convey that to them and give them options, or just simply tell them, it's as simple as this, and all you have to do is this, and you'll get out. I have faith in you.
Oh.
Which I'm going to try to find this. I don't know if I can or not. I used to keep a screenshot of a text I got from a young lady who was stranded up on somewhere near Edmonds Call. Mm-hmm. It was in the middle of the summer, but it was one of those rare instances where the storm came in, and she was hiking, I believe, with her boyfriend, and high winds, cold, heavy rain. And the call came in, you have to come get me now because we're going to die. And if anyone out there knows where Edmonds Call is, it's not an easy place to get to quickly.
Yeah.
And I think the temperature was in the low 30s. It was June, I think it was June.
Yeah.
And they were right up on the ridge, huddled behind a rock, I believe.
Yeah. And
I simply said, not nicely, like, you guys, I plotted their coordinate because the 911 call comes in with exactly where they are. I said, your only option is to go down Castle Ravine Trail. You're not far from there, and that'll get you off the ridge, and that's what you have to do, because if you sit there and wait for someone to come get you, you're probably going to die. It's that simple. It's like, no one's going to be there quick, and you have to do this.
Yeah.
You got no option. And it might have been an hour later, she sent the text, we made it, we're coming down Castle Ravine Trail, we're out of the wind, I think we're all set, thank you. And then later on, she sent I don't have it, but she sent a very nice text saying something about the effect that you put it to me in such a way that I knew that I had to do this, or we had to do this.
Yeah.
And thank you for that.
Good.
So,
yeah.
That's the only one I've ever received over the years, a thank you from someone.
Really?
Pretty much. Because I've taken... Each of us, each of the lieutenants and sergeants in districts 1, 2, and 3 do get multiple calls in summertime, usually at night, that we don't respond to. So you only hear the responses where someone gets hurt and we have to go get them. Mm-hmm. For the past couple summers, I've calculated that we've taken over 100, just in District 1, extra calls at night usually for people that we don't respond to because it's not an emergency.
Yeah.
And this was one of them. It could have been, but I basically told them, you have to do this. You have no option.
Yeah, very firmly.
Yes, firmly. And so we get a ton of extra calls at night, usually. Not quite as severe as this, but still, you have to answer the call. And they come in via 911, all of them. And they all have made it out.
That's awesome.
No one's ever died. No one's ever... we call them a non-response. We do little incident reports of these calls. We call them non-response reports because we don't respond. I've never had to respond to a non-response report. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it's strictly talking them or telling them that they can do it, that they have to do it. There's no other option.
Mm-hmm. Do you, are there certain skills you've developed from receiving those calls that you didn't have before?
I'd like to say patience, but no.
But no patience?
No patience. No, I can't think of any skills I've developed. I feel I have to be upright, honest and forthright, and not sugarcoat anything.
Right.
So I may come across as gruff.
Yeah.
But that's just who I am, and it portrays to them that no, we're not coming.
Yeah.
You have to do this. It's not an emergency. So I've left people out overnight because they didn't bring a light.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's a summertime. It may get cold. You may get chilly. But, yeah, you're going to spend the night up there.
This is good information. I hope lots of people listen to this.
It's one of the things I've been like this my whole life is I feel people can do more than they think they can.
Yes.
And I like to hold people accountable. And I said, we've got this thing called Hike Safe.
Yeah.
At every single signpost, every trailhead in the state, pretty much, there's a yellow sign that says, be prepared, bring these things.
Yes.
The number one thing is an extra headlight. Yeah. And it's amazing to this day, 20 years later, people are still calling because they didn't bring a light.
Yep.
And if it all depends on conditions. So if it's wintertime, yes, we'll probably go get them because it could be life or death situation.
Right.
But if it's not a life or death situation, they're going to spend the night.
Yeah. And at this point, when they aren't prepared, they're getting financially dinged for it, right?
Very, very few do, actually. But yes, there's that option. If someone does something,
option?
Well, for us,
okay.
For the state. So we have to prove that they acted reckless or negligence, which is a legal standard. And there's a law that covers this. So for me, if I feel someone was negligent, I would write up a bill request.
Yeah.
Basically saying these are the reasons why I feel this person should be charged for this, and charged not legally, like it's not a crime, but the cost of the rescue.
Right.
Which is essentially, they're getting quite a deal because we don't charge for the volunteers.
That's true.
Right. So they could be getting a lot more. If volunteers got paid for this, the bills would be astronomically more.
Yeah, they would be.
Yeah. And so I would submit this down with a report to headquarters. It goes to my command staff, who looks at it. If they feel it's justified, it goes to the Attorney General's office. Mm-hmm. If they feel it's justified, then it happens. So I don't know the total numbers, but I can tell you it's a small fraction of the actual rescues we do.
Yeah, well, the ones that have been shared on social media, people are all up in arms because they don't think it's enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because volunteers don't get paid. It could very well be a lot more than that. But.
Yeah. Interesting. But like even when a helicopter is needed.
Yeah. That's the National Guard is just, I can't say enough about volunteers or the National Guard.
Yeah, the National Guard's good.
They're doing it, and I guess, I don't know for sure, so don't quote me on the legal standards, but okay. I think they have the ability to bill my agencies for the use of a helicopter, but they haven't, as far as I know,
nice.
Yet. But if that cost did get someday sent to us,
yeah,
and it was a negligent or reckless situation, we could forward that on to the person.
Yep, that makes sense.
And that would be a lot.
I'm sure. Like, I probably don't even...
Can't.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to guess.
Yeah. What's it like working with those guys when you get to coordinate with them?
Oh, it's fun. It's like they're a part of the crew.
Yeah.
They love doing it, first of all. And they obviously have a chain of command, so if, for instance, I call, it's not a guarantee that we're going to get a helicopter. Mm-hmm. And when I call, it's a life or death situation. Okay. Generally. Or life or death or potential loss of a limb. So it goes to their chain of command, and very rarely have they said no. Very, very rarely. Mm-hmm. But the colonel I usually deal with, who who's the first point of contact, he then has to call out for, because generally when this happens, they're off duty, kind of like you guys,
Yeah.
They have to get called in from home, usually weekend. If it's lucky enough that it's a drill weekend and they're available, great, but 9 times out of 10 it's not that case. So he has to find a crew, a pilot, co-pilot, medic, crew chief, at least 4 I believe, and then they have to go to the hangar in Concord, get the helicopter ready, and then fly up here. And so it's no less than 2 hours at the minimum. But I know those pilots and the crew love it. They really do.
Well, when they come and they do their training at Cannon every year, they are just so full of energy. Yeah. Like, you can tell that they love it.
I think it's challenging for them.
Yeah.
The conditions that they have to. I've seen them do stuff that I'm like, oh my God, that's great, and thank God they could do it because it saves us.
Yeah.
Just the manpower and the a lot.
Yeah.
I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
I wish we could call them for every single broken ankle and.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah. But unfortunately, we can't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
The future is coming.
Hopefully. And
more people are gonna keep hiking and being out there, and things are gonna happen.
Yes. Yes, and then there's been multiple life-saving efforts by both volunteers, us, and the Guard over the years. So, and they're all getting recognized, which is great.
Yes,
I'm glad they're getting recognized.
Yeah, it is great. So, I know this is probably a question you get a lot, and it's probably hard to answer. What is the hardest rescue that you have been a part of? Let's say most challenging. Like one that will stick out for the rest of your life.
I mean, the Cape Matrosova, that one I was the supervisor.
Yeah.
So I took the initial call and got teams organized to go up. I didn't have to physically hike. But that was difficult in the fact that it was -10 at the trailhead, I believe, according to my cruiser. And it was -20 or 30 up on the ridge with the winds. Mm-hmm. And you're sending people up into that.
Yeah.
So, again, not physically, but mentally.
What do you remember going through your mind?
Like, this can't be real. It was, and I think this is in the book, I remember driving by Appalachia Trailhead parking lot, and there was no cars parked there. And I said, thank God.
I remember that line.
This weather was forecast for a while.
Yeah.
Like, it was the worst weather we were supposed to have that winter, I think.
Yeah.
And so it was a very, very cold day overall. And I was, I think, trying to gradually making my way back home after working all day. Mm-hmm. And I get that call. I just can't be real. There's no cars there. So
yeah.
But her husband's the one that called, and so I called him directly, and he explained to me how he dropped her off that morning, and that's why there's no cars there.
Yeah.
And so it became real pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sending people up there.
Yeah. And knowing that only certain qualified people can go there. So we used, back then, I think, a small crew from Mountain Rescue Services, and then a small crew of our advanced search and rescue guys. And of course they couldn't make it to the ridge at all. It was just too dangerous. So, not to backtrack on, the book explains pretty well, but there was multiple coordinates being sent through the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center because of the personal locator beacon she had. Was the wind was throwing the antenna different ways, so it was giving spotty areas coordinates of where we thought she was.
Right.
And so the first one was actually the correct one. That's where we found her. The updated one was down a little bit below the ridge, coming down not far off of Alleyway Trail.
Yeah.
And so if thinking that she had made it down that way but was off trail, that was doable. And that's where the MRS team went to that night.
Yeah.
You know, they're through chest deep snow, searching around. They got to that coordinate point, and of course there was nothing. But it was a false coordinate, which we found out later. So knowing or thinking at the time that that's where she was making her way down, I'm like, okay, it was like a weight off my shoulders. Like, okay, this is doable.
Your mind has already decided what the story was.
Right. Like she got into trouble. This happened, but she's still mobile and working her way down and is off trail. So the teams will be able to get to her. And then it just wasn't the case. But just knowing it, the initial one was, I remember calling my colonel, like, Colonel, this is bad.
Yeah.
And all he said was, you know, we have to try.
Yeah.
So.
Who was that colonel?
The colonel at the time was Martin Garabedian.
Okay.
He's retired now, but
yeah.
You know, he's got the final. The colonel is the chief of law enforcement. He's got the final say in most of everything that we do. If we need advice, we call them.
That's good. You got someone to call. That's awesome.
But yes, he said we've got to try.
Yeah.
So. And
I can't remember how many hours you were awake for that.
Oh yeah.
Was it like several days?
No. It was. I mean, I stayed up all night because by the time the last rescuers came out, it was maybe 2 a.m. or 3. And then I was getting called quite frequently by the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center of new coordinates popping up in different areas. And so you don't know what's going on at this point. So one of them, I think, was down in Great Gulf, which kind of pops out onto Route 16. So I'm like, well, maybe she made it down there and it's going to pop out onto the road. So I'd go back and forth on the road just in case she came out. Mm-hmm. And then making calls for the previous or the next morning's mission. So I just kind of stayed there. Yeah. Because I had to brief everybody who was coming on what was going on. So I ended up staying until like mid-morning, late morning. Yeah. And again, the same colonel called and said, go home. Yeah. So it wasn't a couple days, but it was like 28 hours. After
an event like that, you find it hard to actually go home and fall asleep.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're like wired.
Yep. But then you kind of hit a wall, fall asleep, but then you wake up after a couple hours. It's like, what's going? Any news?
Yeah. Yeah, especially if it was unresolved.
Yes.
We have a few minutes left.
Wow.
I know.
It's gone quick.
It always goes by too fast. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about that. It's, reliving something like that isn't easy.
Yeah.
And you probably feel like you're right back there when you talk about it.
Oh, it's been 11 years. I can't believe it. Just on Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, there's been other ones more grueling than this as far as physical exertion, but I mean, I can think of one on Franconia Ridge.
Yeah.
I forget the date. I wasn't a sergeant, so I was still a grunt in the field.
I like how you call it a grunt.
But, I mean, there was a bunch of COs. There was a bunch of PEMI rescue volunteers, Mountain Rescue Service. It was back when one of those hurricanes was coming through. Mm-hmm. So we were getting a ton of rain, and there was a hiker who shouldn't have been hiking, who I think dislocated his hip between Lafayette and Lincoln. So we had to hike up, get him in a litter, and carry him down Falling Waters Trail. We got out the next morning. We started probably that afternoon and got out at 6 or 7 the next morning.
Oh, my word.
If I remember correctly. But that was pretty bad.
Oh. No, thank you. Yeah. That's like next level.
Mm-hmm.
I thought coming down Carter Mariah was was bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These trails are just. I don't know. I know what you guys are going with. Because I don't do it as far as boots on the ground as much as I used to. I do feel the pain of what the rescuers have to go through.
You've put in your time, Mark.
I've done some of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I have so many more questions for you. Since this is obligatory, does that mean that you're going to come back?
I could come back.
Oh, yes. Because then we can continue the conversation and you can share more stories. But I'm just so grateful that you said yes and chose to be here, and that you were open and shared a little bit about who Mark Ober is.
Not too much, though.
Not too much.
Yeah.
Just a safe amount.
Right.
Yeah. But thank you. Thank you for sharing with our community.
Happy to do it.
Yeah. And thank you so much for everything that you do for our community and keeping everybody safe as much as possible.
I know. And I have to take this time to thank you for being a volunteer, because that is huge.
You're welcome.
We all of us at Fish and Game feel that immensely.
Good.
It's like a huge pressure that's taken off of us when it comes to a rescue, when we know we have people we can count on to help.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yes.
Hopefully people listening in will think about what maybe it means to be a volunteer and look into that a little bit too.
Yeah. I think there's still some high standards that they have to pass as far as volunteer groups go, but if anyone out there is thinking about it and they've got the mentality and the physical abilities to do it, I think any volunteer group would be happy to at least have them apply.
Yeah, I think so too. All right. I usually have this little closing statement I make, so I'm going to do that. You guys are listening to WZNC LP Bethlehem, North Country Community Radio, 99.9 FM, and streaming online at nococommunityradio.org. Thank you for being here. By listening in, you're helping keep real stories and community conversations alive. That's no small thing, and I'm so glad you're part of it. If you've got thoughts about today's episode or someone you think would be a great guest, I'd love to hear from you. Just send an email to amanda@clearviewadvantage.com. And if you want to catch up on past episodes or share one with a friend, you can find them anytime at clearviewadvantage.com/podcast. This has been North of Normal with Amanda McKeen and Lieutenant Mark Ober. We'll see you next Tuesday, live from 10 to noon. Until then, stay grounded, stay curious, and stay a little north of normal.